Hello, physics students. It's Mr. Thrasher again. Welcome back to our online learning during these weird times. Good morning or good afternoon or good night. Remember, we're doing our new unit where we are right here learning about waves. Before we learn about the type of wave called sound waves, we're going to learn a little bit about how fast waves can travel, because waves can move from one location to another location. There's an equation. We're going to practice calculating the speed of waves. That's our plan today. So we have day four. Remember, Mr. Thrasher likes it if you have a piece of paper and you write this down. Or what do you think? Day four. There's a picture right here, and the question says, what is the amplitude of the wave? I want one full sentence. I think the amplitude of the wave is... Mr. Thrasher has a couple numbers here. It says this is 2 meters, and it says this is 1 meter. So what do you think is the amplitude of the wave? Hit pause and write it down. I think the amplitude of the wave is... what do you think? The amplitude of the wave is about 0.5. 0.5, half, 1/2. Amplitude is how tall the wave is. From the bottom all the way to the top, is that amplitude? No, that is not amplitude. Amplitude's a little difficult. It's here from the middle to the top, from the middle to the top. So if this is 1, this is about half. It's half as big. So the amplitude is about 1/2 or 0.5 meters. Did you get it? Okay. Let's remember a little bit about wavelength and frequency. Here are Mr. Thrasher's notes. You don't have to write anything down. Just see if you can answer these questions. Okay, we're remembering so we can learn an equation. It says, let's remember wavelength and frequency. Number 1, wavelength is how blank a wave is. What was wavelength? That's right. Wavelength is how long a wave is. How long, that is a distance. For math problems, we always use blank for distance. How did we measure distance in our class? Did we use kilometers? Miles? How did we measure distance? Normally we use meters. Remember, a meter is it's about like this. If you take your hands, if you stretch your hands out, that's about 1 meter. We use meters for distance. So wavelength, we measure it with meters. It's distance. Now, wavelength has a math symbol because we're learning an equation. The math symbol for wavelength is the Greek letter lambda. This is maybe new. We're looking at a difficult symbol. This is not an English or Spanish letter. This is a letter from Greece. And here's us, the United States. Here's California. Here we have Mexico. And here's Central America, South America. Greece is way over here. And they use different letters. And scientists sometimes like to use those letters. So You don't need to know this. Mr. Thrasher won't ask you about the country Greece. All right, but it's a little different symbol. It looks like a Y, but upside down. If you kind of flip your head over, it looks like an upside down letter Y. Anyway, that's used for wavelength. So here's that picture. Remember this picture? There is the symbol for wavelength. But again, how long a wave is. And how did we measure wavelength? In meters. We measured wavelength in meters. Now, frequency. We learned about frequency in the last video. So hopefully you remember. Hopefully you have your words written down here. You should have almost all these words, or all these words, written down. It says frequency is more difficult. It is how fast a wave, do you remember, moves up and down. Remember, this is a big frequency. This is a small, little, or slow frequency. How we measure frequency is kind of by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, if we make one wave in 1 second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. Thrasher can show you on the simulation. If I make one wave per second, okay, get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One wave per second. Well, let me go back to my slides. The frequency is 1. It's one wave per second. Now look right here. If we make 2 waves, so more, not 1, 2. Now we're making 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you make 2 waves in a second, the frequency is 2. So here's a frequency of 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. Here's a frequency of 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What do you think is a frequency of 3? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How about frequency of 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So a bigger number, the more waves you are making. We measure frequency using a new measurement. It's a little weird, a little difficult. It's hertz. Try saying hertz. It was the name of a scientist. Okay, hertz. Sometimes you'll see scientists write it like this. It's a little easier, right? HZ, HZ. Okay, and we'll see this in an equation. The symbol is easy, F. F for frequency. Okay, there is an equation. We can calculate the speed of a wave. The speed of any wave is the frequency, 1, 1, 1, multiplied by the wavelength. So here it is in words. Speed equals frequency multiplied by wavelength. Do you remember what the symbol for speed was? It was S. S for speed. What's the symbol for frequency? Ooh, F. And what's the symbol for wavelength? Ooh, difficult. That's that lambda. Ooh, a weird little symbol. But that's our equation. Okay? Now we're going to do some practice. We're going to do 4 calculation problems. Oop, I'm going to move out of that. But Mr. Thrasher will do the first one with you. There is a link on our agenda to this paper. It says wave speed equation practice. That's what I'm holding. Wave speed equation practice. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. 4 questions. If you have a printer, you can print out this paper and then you could write here like we would in class. That's great. If you do not have a printer, that's okay. You could use like a piece of binder paper. Or even if you have like old paper, use the back, that's okay. But you will be taking a picture of this. So you should be able to, maybe on your computer, maybe on your phone, you should be able to either print or at least see these questions. Let's do the first one together. Okay, here's that equation. Speed equals frequency multiplied by wavelength. You can rewrite the equation. Look right here. If I wanted the frequency of a wave, that's S divide by lambda. Speed divide by wavelength. If I wanted lambda, wavelength, that's wavelength divided, or I'm sorry, that's speed divided by frequency. For all of these, remember what you think. What do we want to calculate? And then find that equation. It'll be this one, or this one. So let's read number one. Okay, if you have this paper, let's do it right now. If you do not have this paper, you could print it out or take out a piece of binder paper. But number one, a wave on a string has a frequency of 5 hertz and a wavelength of 0.5 meters. Calculate the speed of the wave. So what do we want to calculate? Do I want frequency, speed, or wavelength? It says right here, calculate the speed. So which equation do I want? This one, see, S. S equals F multiplied by wavelength. Okay, step one, easy. Equation. You write down the equation, just copy it. Easy. Speed equals frequency multiplied by wavelength. Now, plug in. I need to know what the frequency is. What's the frequency in this problem? What number is it? Is it this number or this number? The frequency is this one, 5 hertz. The frequency is 5. And then I multiply that by wavelength. What number is the wavelength? Oh, wavelength of 0.5. So this is what you should write down. S equals 5 multiply by 0.5. And then a calculator. If you don't have your own calculator at home, I bet your phone has a calculator. You could even go on Google and you can Google calculator and one will pop up. But what is 5 multiplied by 0.5? 2.5. And remember, it's speed. Speed is always m divided by s. So we just did number one. You only have to do 3 more questions. But remember, you need to think, what do I need to calculate? Then find the equation and then start plugging in. Now I want to show you something. Mr. Thrasher maybe, oh no, doesn't have a printer. I can't print out this paper. That's okay. I did it on binder paper, and that's what you see on your screen right now. This is great. If you want to do it like this, perfect. It's the same thing. Equation, plug in, answer. Great. You do this 4 times, and Mr. Thrasher did the first one for you. Now, for this, Mr. Thrasher wants to see your paper, either the binder paper or the printer paper. So you are going to turn in this homework. Oh my gosh. You're going to turn it in. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to complete all 4 of the problems, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to take out your phone and you're going to take a picture of it. See this example? So here's your homework. You're going to take out your phone and just take a picture. Well, you're either going to take a picture of this or this. Make sure I can see the whole paper. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make sure I can see the whole paper. You take a picture, and then you're going to email it to me. Okay, you're going to share your photo. Okay, I bet you know how to do that. And you're going to send me an email. So you have your picture on your phone. Okay, you're going to send an email. Here's my example. Here's an email. So I put the picture on the phone, and I'm going to write down to Mr. Thrasher, to me. Here's my email address. If you need to hit pause, go ahead. You're going to email it, pthrasher@smuhsd.org. Okay, if it has your picture, perfect, you're all done. It would be nice if you put your name in the subject. So if it was me, I'd say maybe Mr. Thrasher's homework. Or maybe I see Melvin homework, so I know who this email is from. But you email me this homework, you're all done. Okay? If you can't do this, if you have no internet, if your phone is broken, okay, but email me saying, Mr. Thrasher, I can't take a picture. Okay, and then we'll talk. All right, but you should do your 4 problems, take a picture, and email it to me. Hopefully that's not too bad. That's the end of my video. Thank you for watching.